Hello Aries, welcome to your reading here. Hope you're doing well. Um, so quick little note here. So during the pre-shuffle, I got a large, well, like the surge of energy coming from kind of my the base of my body, and then surging upwards towards my head. Like it was this gathering of energy, like this action. And then what followed was the masculine scholar of Terra, which is a card unique to my deck, which is basically a hunter, kind of sitting on a tree branch, waiting for the right time to strike, kind of surveying the land. Um, so I'm feeling like there you're kind of on the hunt for something. You're watching with huge anticipation, just waiting for something to kind of come out and happen. Um, I didn't get any patience, but there's a lot of energy. You might have expendable energy right now, kind of coming out that you don't know what to do with. Um, okay, so to layout, lots of yin. Oh, and then the card comes out at the last place. So this came out in the pre-shuffle. Here it's in reverse, so opposite to kind of how you're seeing it right now. So this was the card that came out in the pre-shuffle. So you can see he's sitting there, kind of waiting for a time to strike, a time to take action. And looking at overall, there's a lot of yin energy here, so I think you're from the outset kind of facing the conundrum of what do I do with all this energy? I'm just like waiting around. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Um, so this is the last card, though. The first card, uh, it's kind of starting out what I'm kind of iterating already. This is my Four of Pentacles, Four of Terra, as I call it. So in reverse for me here. So you're you've got all of this stored energy just waiting to come out that you're trying to let out, and that's a good thing. Like immediately, this card is saying, yeah, you have to find an outlet somehow, because it's in reverse. Um, you want to find an outlet immediately. That's what I'm getting here. And we do have a single changing line, the middle line. So we'll get to that here in a moment. Um, so following that, kind of Four of Pentacles there, we have the Six of Pentacles. So from 4 to 6, and here there's a balance, a physical balance. So to me, my interpretation of the card is like a physical and spiritual balance. So here they're both in harmony, holding the balance together. It's not one more than the other. There's no excess going on. So you're definitely seeking this balance, and that's upright. So so next we have the Strength card in reverse. So the Sun energy here, there is fire. The Center card is is also fire related. We also have the Moon here. So definitely dichotomies kind of coming to the surface. Sun and Moon for sure. Well, I mean Cancer and then and Leo. So you might be at odds with how you feel and what you want to take action on. Mostly with the action, because this is in reverse here in the Sun. Um, and this is a very calm, collected, and in control energy, though in reverse. So you might be feeling like this energy is like just bursting from the seams. You don't know, kind of you're seeking this balance here, this physical and emotional balance, which is what you're trying to survey. I think you got so much energy to expend. It's like you could go for a run. Like I feel like I could go for a run right now and just let it all out. Blast some tunes, or dance. I'm getting the image of like just dancing by yourself. Letting it all out. Maybe like pumping your fists. Like that much energy here is kind of what I'm getting. Though in reverse, so this card depicts kind of children and like a pup there, like a little cub on top of a chimera. So this to me symbolizes the innocence of the self, kind of gaining ground on all of the conflicting energies that we have within ourselves. So this calmness is kind of dominating this at odds kind of energy. Now in reverse, I'm kind of seeing this as action oriented specifically, because the card down here we have is the moon. That we won't quite get to that next. That's not next in line, but that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Um, Following the sun, we have the hermit here in reverse as well. So here it's again. So the hermit in reverse is definitely letting things out, trying to express yourself and um, seek a way to communicate what you're trying to do, or achieve, what you're contemplating on. So I think you might have to. Well, I mean, at the outset, this is kind of telling me you're trying to find a way to express how you're feeling right now. Um, Maybe you can't find the action, but you're trying things. I think is what this is telling me. You're trying things. It could be journaling, it could be talking to people, it could be running. Um, but there's a need to express yourself here in a healthy way. Definitely in a healthy way, which I think is part of the challenge. Because the next card we have here is I call it the Patriarch of Ignis, King of Wands, basically, in reverse here. So um, in reverse, this is definitely someone a little bit manipulative, a tad destructive tendencies, hurtful. Uh, it might not be in relation to someone else. I'm not getting another person. I'm seeing this as the self. So the challenge here, even the center card, is to channel this in a healthy way, this energy in a healthy way. Don't, kind of review what your options are. Note down every single option that you have, is what this is telling me. You know, don't don't disregard an option because of judgment, some kind of comparison to another person. This is all internal stuff. This reading in itself is also half of a hexagram of the I Ching. So the lower trigram, which represents the inner self, the the yin, the internal aspect of like a story or a symbol archetype. So this is all internal. Um, Channel this in a healthy way. So note down your options. Don't disregard anything. Allow yourself to just be who you are. Because again, we have as the card following this card, as well as the sun here in reverse, there might be something you're holding back, just because you might think of it as being childish or silly. Like I was thinking about, like just dancing by yourself, or like punching the air, and you have all of this power. That energy is beneficial. That's a good kind of energy. You don't want to kind of hold that back or push that down in some way. Allow yourself to be that, whatever you are at any age. Doesn't matter. Let it out. Like with the first card here, you might be waiting for the right time to do it, and that's Okay, I get in certain scenarios it makes sense to wait for the right time, but don't wait too long to the point where you might hurt yourself. Because here we have the fall. So this is my Six of Cups, and it's in reverse. So definitely um, an energy of nostalgia, looking back at time, or in terms of this whole thing, it might be a rejection, a self-rejection in some way of some childhood desire that you want. Maybe it's going to Disneyland, or maybe you like trading cards, you know, like what seems like childish things, but it allows us to just express that energy, that childish, innocent, enjoy, uh, childish energy in the way that feels good. Not everything has to be super serious all of the time. Like we need a balance, and this balance is super important because it spiritually, physically, we have to allow ourselves to be who we are. There's some things we can't change, and if it's not destructive um, to others, then you have to allow yourself the freedom to express that. Try to generate the capacity to express that side of yourself and in a healthy way. Because here I'm just getting a lot of bottled stuff, which also again comes with the Eight of Wands in reverse. So holding back from saying something, it could be even singing. Maybe you love singing, and you're holding this back from yourself, this experience from yourself. I personally like when I hear a song I love, I'll just break down and dance, and it feels good. Even the top of my head gets all tingly, and I love it. It's something I just can't deny. It's just a part of me, and I don't hate that. Neither should you, no matter what that is, as long as again it's not destructive. And stop. Don't don't compare yourself to others. Comparison. What do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. Um, when it might even be that you're looking at other people who enjoy themselves, and you're like, why can they do that? What gives them the right to do that? Um, and that is definitely sad. That has to come out, and that could be your channel. That could be kind of the overall message here, to allow that to be. Like, the next card here is the Chariot, and when I talk about energy, achievement, power, also with the Sun here, these are the two cards with the Chimera, and I have them actually as, I purposefully put them both as riding chimeras, because they're both the masculine yang and the yin here, the internal energies, and they're both riding chimeras. Here it's just a single man. He's championed the inner the inner self in a way that will bring him places closer to himself and bring him what he seeks, because he's not afraid to channel his feelings or what he wants in the simple things in life. At least in the case of this reading, that's what it's coming out as. He loves who he is, he or she. It's a man here, but it doesn't matter. Um, the internal aspect of himself, even the feminine. This is also the feminine, as being represented by the moon and yin. Um, the passive, deep, dark part of the self here, opposite of the expressive. Um, and then we come up to the final card, which came out in the pre-shuffle, which is almost like the beginning too. So this is kind of how I see you right now. You're pondering your choices. You have so many choices. You don't know where to start, but just start with whatever you feel like is fun and good for you to positively channel this and let it out. Give yourself the capacity to, the space to. Start small. If you feel guilt in this regard, you might not, but for those who do feel that little sense of guilt, start small and just allow yourself to slowly blossom and become, and realize yourself, self-actualize in that respect, to where you can greet yourself and love yourself, hold yourself, hug yourself. Um, Personally, this is just my personal practice, but whenever I feel like I have to love an aspect of myself in this way, I picture holding myself as a child, you know, holding myself and loving myself for who I am as a child. Maybe that's the root of it as well. Perhaps you had a parent that was really, really against something that you loved, even as a child, which is definitely unfortunate. Um, but start with that. Picture that and see how releasing it feels to allow yourself to be who you are. Don't be don't bottle it to the point where you rob yourself of those experiences. Um, it's not worth it. It definitely isn't worth it, and you deserve it. Absolutely deserve it. Just like anyone else. Again, you might be looking at other people enjoying themselves, and allow yourself that space to just be. There is no sense there. Nobody is perfect, and I know that's such uh, like an overused saying, but it's so true. No one is perfect. No one has all the answers to say what is absolutely right or wrong. And we have our own decisions to make, and that defines who we are. That's part of what defines who we are. Your beliefs, what you enjoy, your hobbies, these are all valuable things, and they're yours, not anyone else's to decide. You have full control over that, and allow yourself that control over time, and you'll feel the release and go at your pace, of course. Um, Now we had a changing line. It's the center line. Uh, so overall, okay. So this is going to be your advice card. So in a traditional hexagram reading, if you're unfamiliar with the I Ching, if you have a changing line, then you'll kind of find the text that defines the changing line, and that's usually the overall advice. Here it's just one, so I'll get like a generic advice card. Alright, so here we have this is the Four of Cups, so the Four of Aqua. So I'm feeling a really serious energy about this. Uh, take the basically how I'm interpreting this is take the time to write out all the possibilities of how you can channel this in a healthy way. Take the time to do it, even though I get the sense like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's so boring. You know, that's the opposite when you think about how a child would have fun. But to approach it in this serious way, if you're trying to find the best solution, allow yourself to just explore options. Seek out possibilities, because you're not gonna know right away what it is that you love to express as this innocent child energy. Maybe you're trying to discover that. Um, so take the time to explore. It will bear fruit, even though on the surface, maybe you're reading about things, learning about things. Approach it with an open mind. Don't allow yourself to just brush it off because it doesn't seem It because it seems inconsequential. It's really not. Okay, and that's the illusion that we have to fight, is that there is beauty in opportunities. And the beauty is in those opportunities, because if you're not looking for options or choices, you're still in that state of mind where you're, oh, it's always going to be the same. There's nothing's going to change, yada yada. That internal talk. Um, you're not looking for the opportunities that are presenting themselves, and that can be anywhere, in any state. Um, so keep your eyes open, and don't restrict an opportunity due to judgment, passive judgment. Um, that's really what I'm getting here. A lot of passive judgment, like, oh, that's not going to work. Why would I even try that? Try it. Try it with an honest and open mind, and you'll be surprised. You will discover something. That's how I found the things that I loved. I just allowed myself to experience it as a child would. A child wouldn't approach something, thinking it into pieces, compartmentalizing everything, placing it somewhere in a box, or with these people, or that scenario, or this situation, trying to discredit it. They would just do it with an open mind in the moment. So explore. That's the general advice. Explore and find it. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. So that's the advice there, Aries. So that concludes the overall card reading portion. Um, what I'll touch on next is the trigram, because this does create a whole trigram. So if you like the I Ching, you can kind of make it your own by casting 3 more lines for the upper trigram, to get your overall hexagram. So what we have here is balanced yin, changing yin into yang, balanced yin. So this is earth. So it starts as earth, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is the lower trigram, so this is earth, the beginning, and the middle line is changing. So middle line changing, and that will change to water, which looks like this. So that's how it will change and transform. So this will be added if you choose to do an overall hexagram reading. This is what the lower trigram will look like. And depending on the upper trigram, you'll see how that changes into an overall hexagram. All right, so that's the trigram portion. And then lastly, I have generated some cards using keywords. So 3 of them I'll say the keywords. The 4th I will not. That's a secret card, so if none of the keywords fit, go to that 4th one. Okay, so the first card is signature. Second card is concept. Third card is percentage. So pause now. You can check the video description for card stamps, or sorry, timestamps, because I'll show them now. All right, so here they are. First card, signature. Concept. Percentage. And the secret is description. Description. Okay, so that's all the cards there. So thanks for watching, Aries. If you like the video, like it. subscribe. I also have a coffee channel linked in the description where you can go to this to become a member and get copies of my generated cards there if you'd like. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, Aries.